This video is about my true experience with changing your soul contract. My client Jimmy came in. He had already died twice, flatlined, from 2 separate heart attacks. I found it strange that in both instances, just a few weeks apart, that Jimmy did not have a near-death experience. So he came to see me about mediumship. He was wanting to get in touch with his deceased spouse. Well, of course, we got in touch with Jimmy's spouse, and that was wonderful. But the really wonderful thing was still to come. I felt guided to ask Jimmy if he wanted to extend his life by changing his soul contract. I don't know what prompted me to ask such a thing. It's the first time that I ever did, but I'm pretty sure it was the Holy Spirit. I've never even heard of such a thing, but I always do follow my guidance. I put Jimmy on my massage table and guided him into deep meditation. We went back to the light, to the place where he was forming his soul contract, and into the presence of a special council of 12. We petitioned the council to extend Jimmy's life. Permission was granted. Now, that was over 8 years ago, and since then I've done this many times. Jimmy was 77 years old when he first came to see me, and he's still doing well. He hasn't had any more heart trouble at all, which is just very unusual. So what if you could change your own soul contract with your own council of 12? What would you ask for? More success in finances, maybe more loving relationships, better physical conditions? Maybe you'd be like Jimmy and just want to extend your life. For myself, I think that I might ask for sharper mind power, maybe even greater intuition and psychic abilities, and deeper understanding of ways to help humanity. But just imagine the transformation. If you could do this, change your soul contract in a very real and concrete way, what would you do? How would you know what to ask for? How would you know what your soul truly longs for? And what if you could tap into the wisdom of your own soul and find out the very best way to do this process? And what if you could find out what your own dear soul has been longing to set right? And what if it's actually already written in your chart, your blueprint, that this is the very lifetime that your soul awakens to its true magnificence? Agreements and contracts were meant to be changed when it's for the highest good of all. If your soul has evolved to the place that you realize an agreement may not be serving your highest good any longer, then, my friend, you have evolved into the space of having the authority to change it. I'm guided to offer this special service to you, and I'm going to tell you how you can take advantage of this for very little money. But here's something else to think about. When you change your soul contract, it's going to affect your whole soul group in a positive way. This is going to affect your past life, your present life, your future life, because we're going to stretch backwards in time to change your past life soul agreements. So you might be saying, well, what's a soul group? The soul group is a cluster of souls that you came in with in this lifetime. Your friends, your relatives, your enemies, you have some agreement. So we're also, in this audio program that I've created, we're going to visit your between life. For that's where you're going to change your soul agreements that are no longer serving your highest good. Now, you must be able to see yourself reaping the benefits of positive change. So we're going to also go into a future life where you no longer have outdated agreements hanging around your neck like the proverbial albatross. And if this is resonating for you, drop to your heart and ask your own guidance. Let me just give you a little more information that might help you decide, because some of you might be saying, no, if I made a soul contract, I don't want to change it. I want to stick to it. There's only so much space in your being. What's taking up the space where you want your abundance to reside? And abundance is about so much more than just money. It's feeling happy, being abundant in your relationships, in your finances, all kind of things. And what if you had some old agreement to suffer? And what if that agreement your soul is clinging to now? What if I could help you face your worst fear and take you into the future where you have overcome every obstacle? And what if you could just use that power right now? And what if we could borrow the power from a future life and go back between the lives and rewrite the soul contract for this life? Why can't we? If you have evolved to the place that you're even still with me watching this video, then you've evolved to the place where you can do it. You just might need a little guidance in exactly how to do it. So, some people say, well, I've done all kind of past life work, but it doesn't seem to really work. So we're going to do this whole process on a soul level, not just for your own soul, but inviting those in your entire soul group to join in and benefit. So to completely and utterly heal the effects, like say for instance a past life wound, you need 3 things in process. Number 1, you need to do the whole process on a soul recognition level. Recognize that you had an agreement to learn. And then number 2, you need to close the portal of connection between you and that situation. Number 3, you need to allow some divine forgiveness and end any unbeneficial soul contract. Re-exchange the energy and completely release, and then write a new agreement in your chart. If you've not been doing all these steps when you were trying to do past life work, then you might have some remnants. That's why it's important to close the portal of connection and actively rescinding the agreement that you have with another that is no longer for your highest benefit. So here's what I'm offering. I taught this in a teleclass, and I took that teleclass, turned it into an audio program, and to make it really, really inexpensive, I put it on what I call Groupon. A Groupon is where you can get something you might not be able to afford because there's a coupon that makes it very, very, very reasonable. So in the section below the description, I'm going to have a link to that page where it talks about how you can change your soul contract. And if this resonates with you, click on it and read about it. Now, you don't need to get my audio program if you're not ready for it or it's really not resonating with you. However, I hope this has opened your eyes to the possibility that just because you have some old soul agreement, you're evolved now. You can change it. Take steps to start changing it today for the better. This is Rebecca, and I invite you to click that link below, go read a little bit more, and if you like this kind of information, subscribe to this channel. And if you know someone who may be having a really hard time in their life and they're open, you don't want to be sending a video like this to somebody who's just going to think you're crazy. But if they're open, maybe they're having a lot of health problems, maybe they're having all kind of problems, and they might be open to changing their soul contract and just get rid of all that stuff, send them this video. God bless you, and change your soul contract if it's not suiting you.